Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. Today's episode Pick a Card reading is going to be focused on the topic of what are people secretly thinking about you. This is going to be, as usual, a timeless 3-pile Pick a Card reading. It will contain layers or ramifications. We will delve into the main topic, then we will go into the subdivisions of the reading, and I guess this is going to be fun because usually, like, when I ask questions like this, I'm surprised with the information that I stumble upon, and I think this is going to be just as interesting for you as it is for me. Thank you so much for all of the support. I guess like I'm never gonna grow tired of mentioning that the comments are a huge factor in the why I do the readings, and that it's basically the fuel for my purpose or my mission. I want my readings to reach as many people as possible, and I want to create an impact into your life with my readings, whether it be like what's the gossip on you readings or other ones, really doesn't matter, so long as I can introduce something of a change, a positive change of course, into your life. Then I feel like this is something that's truly like a part of why I'm here. So yeah, thank you so much for the support in like it's being shown in so many ways. Like it never ceases to surprise me. But about the comments, I will get back to your comments. I usually get like a lot of them, and I want to make sure to answer, like to react to each one of them. And yeah, it's like a wonderful journey, to be honest. And I think that's all for the introduction. You can check the description or the comments for the timestamps. I'll drop that information over there. We'll delve into the subdivisions a little bit later, though I will give you like a short showcase. This is going to be about you, the main energy, the stuff that you will recognize and you will identify with for the reading to resonate. Then I'll delve into your surroundings. Then I will pick basically a thought, intensity, and domain or sphere of life. And then I'll go into, I guess it was like unspoken gratitude or unexpressed gratitude. And then I'll get validation, and we'll focus on some sort of general guidance for you. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite interesting because I like to like complicate things and go deeper, but you'll see how it fits for you. And don't forget to mention that in the comments to make sure to notify me whether it resonated or not and how well it resonated. Okay, I think that's all. I guess see you in your pile. Forgot to mention, we have in here 3 piles with the items linked to each pile. The first pile is going to be linked to a red bracelet. Second pile will be linked to a blue bracelet, and the last pile, third, is going to have a dark bluey greenish type of this is like a necklace. Okay, as I said, timestamps in the comments or the description, and let's begin the reading with pile number 1. Okay, starting with pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the red bracelet. This is going to be basically people's thoughts. We'll also delve into secret thoughts or exposing their thoughts about you. Okay, I have taken some notes for your pile. Let's start. You are highly and ethically generous. When I say highly and ethically, it means that you are not a people pleaser, and this type of generosity doesn't extend strings attached to your feeling, okay, to your feeling of generosity in general. So this is highly like refined generosity, I felt, and this is one type that is not a people pleaser type. Okay, if you are prone to that, however, it means that you are evolving, and that kind of quality of helping others comes from a pure, more like spiritual, let's say, sense. Okay. um, they think that your generosity comes from beyond, and that you're someone radiating different and very refreshing energy, which could be also healing to others. um, it feels like this pile is generous, but in such a way that it almost feels like it's not from this world, or your energy, your aura feels like it's not from this world. Um, it is a very refreshing type of energy that people feel also, just as I have written this in here, and they find it to be really healing. Okay. Um, you are very prosperous in your giving, and that makes others want to give you more in exchange. It feels interesting because I feel like people want to extend some sort of offer, people want to extend their energy to you, but it feels like, you're too content with yourself to such an extent that you don't even need it or need them necessarily. Though still people find you really endearing, and they want to give themselves to you in this case. Okay. Um that your beauty is ethereal, and that they can't get enough of you. Now it's interesting because I was picking that up just from the first card of this reading, which is a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo, and it feels like this pile in general is very abundant, independent, and has an attitude in life that we have to learn from, or we would have to study and basically take on somehow. Okay. Also, you have protection in here. I'll get back to this. It's quite an interesting combination, to be honest, but we'll get immediately back to it. Okay. That your beauty is ethereal, and that they can't get enough of you. This also speaks about divine beauty, inner beauty, or inner soul, like type of a radiance or aura that's coming through in this reading that easily shines through. So it feels like this pile is radiating love, abundance, and healing to people in quite an effortless way. And that seems to be registering on the radars of people. Now, it's interesting because also I wrote in here insanely beautiful. So it feels like this is coming from the first card. It's a very non-interferent, let's say, you don't want to attract attention, but it happens, okay? You are aligned and protected by the divine, and others understand that. You're also serenely present into your life, like that's something that came through. Very, very interesting, by the way, and very like specific for this reading. That they want to give to you but don't know how and what's the best way to do so, or they feel as though you don't even need it. You are unbothered. They think you are unbothered, and that you don't need nobody, and that you'd still be fine and more than fine. You're surreal for people. And it's crazy, your aura is revealing people that they feel very comfortable, they feel very seen at the core, and they feel relaxed. They feel like they want to live. Okay, that's very interesting. But also, I want to mention in here we have protection. So this is not, this pile is not like a flower you find in the wild and you can do whatever, like you can pick it up and take home. No, this garden is protected. This garden is guarded, literally pile number 1. So this could be protection in many ways, shapes, and forms, but the most predominant message that urges itself to be said is basically divine protection. in this case. It could be protection from people as well, because it seems like you are living in a lot of people's hearts. They know not to mess with you because some boulders will fall onto them. This pile is very pure. This pile is with their open heart, and with their heart on the sleeve. Like that's literally how it feels to me. And when such purity comes into the game of life, people better not mess with it, because it feels like the consequence for messing with that, it's pretty heavy for them and long term for people. That you're heavily and powerfully protected. Oh, wait, like people, it's as if people got like some sort of records, or people perishing from messing with your peace. I feel like you are very non-interferent, and you've had people in the past who deliberately wanted to inflict harm. These people were silenced. And if you don't like, not even like if you don't believe it, or you have to mention it because I feel like this is the case, or you must know what's going on in here. But I'm sure you have records of people who deliberately tried to mess with you, and their life either got or their life is in shambles as a result of that, or they've had some sort of unfortunate series of events, or they were or are stagnant. Yeah, it feels like, karma really catches up. That you're powerfully and heavily protected and not to be messed with. That you're gone once you are mistreated, and that you don't give a DAMN, okay? That you slash and blast away BS directed at you, that you won't stand BS, and that you are powerfully protected both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Actually, like, not both, but yeah, you got the idea. Mess with you and some karma will run and bite their back, okay? Great, I didn't write something else. Yeah, it feels like, this is a rare chance, pile number one. This is a rare chance to get, and if you mess with it, it's like, it's like a beautiful, intricate, personal gift. Like that's how pile number one feels. And it's as though if that gift were to be handed to someone undeserving, or someone undeserving means, for me in the context, like someone who wouldn't appreciate you at your core value, and basically like disrespect or disgrace that gift, then that person will pay. And I say that like to the core, from the core actually. It's interesting because I was channeling some direct sentences in here, especially from the protection card. It's like, I'm gonna cite this. So it's basically, say no to BS. I ain't got no time for that. I got no time for BS. Like this pile would be saying that, or would give that energy to people. Protection spells against stupid BS manipulative people. That you're going to demolish them if they mess with you, and they're going to come back begging for forgiveness because they miscalculated big time. Like I would say, or I would watch you say to me, Michael, I'm tired of this BS for real. Like for real, I'm tired of this BS. Like people be making me mad. And I see this coming from this very core. I just wanted to feel like we are a part of something, like you with people, and they just like stepped on me or stepped on that intention. I came with my heart open. Like that's the message I kept hearing on as I was writing this down. They think you're a prize and a worthwhile person to have, unforgettable, and you initiate unforgettable change in people's lives. They feel like they get you once or ever, like in a lifetime, and they are really afraid to mess it up, though it feels like people mess it up like real bad. Also, I would see this pile saying, I offer you goods, I offer you like my heart, and you offer me BS. that ain't no bargain. Like, and it's time for you to go in timeout right now. Like, that's the energy this pile is giving. And this pile is not conflictual. Even if you would be, it would come from a very like rational, reasonable space. It feels like people like they are so off the balance, or how do you even explain this? It's basically people being so off the resonance that they just don't know how to behave. Yeah, it feels like it's as though, you'd be walking life with an open heart, and they would be like walking with a closed heart and with like benefit, like wanting to profit off of you. And they do that because they don't know who they are interacting with, and they mess it up, they mess their chances, and it's gone. Like, the chance is gone, you're gone, and basically the path is deserted and they're left in misery. That's how I feel it's like with people who mistreat you. They think they're gonna just come in and take what they want and go like nothing happened. That's with the full energy I felt. I seen here profiting off of you energy. They initially want and are freely profiting or taking what they want, but once karma gets their back, it's they feel ashamed. They feel ashamed and they understand what they've done. I feel like by default this is the case. So people just come in, they take what they want, and they understand it's not right. Okay, and some of them even understand it really late when something similar happens to them, and they remember and say, yeah, I'm thinking of pile number one because I literally did the same thing. That's the energy I feel. That you're more powerful than you even show and reveal, and that you are and they underestimated you are. Like, I feel like this pile is underestimated a lot, and they miscalculate and they underestimate you to such an extent that it's basically too late. Yeah, not our issue anyway, but that you won't allow injustice and self and others, and that there will be no mercy. I feel like this pile is like, and also like this pile is not necessarily vengeful, but once you understand who that person is, you're not going to like, you could be forgiving, but with the right people. In this case, it feels like a lot of people are just not even thinking about changing, so this pile is immediately leaving. So, and it feels like the benefits are no longer there, and they perish. Like, that's the energy I feel. It's quite fascinating, to be honest, and a bit sad, because to have such an open heart, it's very disappointing and upsetting to be met with a lot of adversity. Pile number one radiates independence, abundance, peace with self, and they don't need anybody. That's what people think. Now, the next section will talk about your surroundings. Your surroundings show support, loyalty, but these are people from afar, or very few people. You have people who are willing to be by your side, but in a hesitant, or they are like stepping away in some sort of way, shape, or form. Quite weird, but I saw in there like a loyalty card. Like, it felt to me like a loyalty card, but it's very avoidant people not knowing how to show love to you. That's very strange, but it's the case. You might also have suitors, admirers, and also some sort of career investors. It feels like, but these people are not, I don't even want to delve into it, because it feels like these people are not sincere. These people are not seeing you for who you are. Anyway, these people are interested in getting something from you, and they are not interested in knowing you. They are not interested in who you are. They are not interested in anything that you are interested in when it comes to your assessment with people. you also, like, careful in this case, because you also got some people who would rather manipulate you, but interesting, they hold back because they know it's gonna get nothing good is gonna come from that. They understand that it's not going to yield some positive results. I saw in their dory, I felt like this card in reverse was talking about people who used to manipulate people, and they are quite good at it, but with you it doesn't quite work so. And it makes them really silent, cold, and detached, but actually these people are very used to manipulating others. With you, however, it's like they're afraid. They're a bit afraid of doing that. Very, like, wise, let's say, at least. But you have also people interested in some sort of material, psychological, or emotional gain from you. Yeah, it happens. But you are protected, so I don't think this is the case, or you should be even worrying about this. Um, you have manipulative people around you who consciously, and this is like consciously, this is not even unconsciously, sad, to be honest, quite sad. They want to consciously extract gain from you. These are emotionless and even seemingly heartless people. You'd recognize them because you'd recognize them like from a mile. These people carry that imprint, or they carry that emotional signature. It's not gonna be really hard to spot them. So yeah, you must know who I'm talking about. However, you have death in here, um, with a character from a game. Basically, I want to say this. You don't have to even worry about this because you remain unaffected in the whole thing. Like, you remain on the pedestal in the whole scheme. Um, you remain unaffected by that, and you thrive despite their plans. And I want to say, even though there will be instances where these people will have some sort of influence, they are given the right to interfere, but it's not going to be like they are permitted somehow. They're permitted to, like, somehow grow you. But once the lesson is done, once the lesson is complete, they're gone, because death, change, transformation, they're not going to hang around for a very long time, basically. um, you remain unaffected, and you thrive despite their plans. And I want to say, you will hear, or you will understand, or you will read a lot of BS going on in the background. People are gonna say stuff that is going to hurt you a lot. Expect that. Be prepared for that, not necessarily expect that. But understand that this is their narrative. Understand that this is their, um, let's say, dome of knowledge and corrupted thoughts. And their story. Don't have to buy into it. This is going to be literally about a story where someone says, you're not good at this, that, and this, and you're never gonna be good at it, or you really have to work hard at it. It's going to feel miserable, or it's going to be completely unrelated to that. It's going to be just a comment that is going to feel like it's diminishing you, and it's going to be enraging. But you have to understand this is nothing to do with you, and that this is temporary. Okay. They are meant to hang about for a short period of time, and that they will get what's coming for them. Yeah, don't worry about this. Literally, like, just walk in life with an attitude of this is a journey. Okay, this is a journey and nothing personal. Your attitude, however, is more nurturing and sincere than of those surrounding you. You are yet to surprise a lot of people with your luck and prosperity by simply not wanting to profit off of others. You also have people who are greedy, avoidant, manipulative, people who can't seem to get enough of already what they've got or gathered. Um, in contrast, your mentality is of generosity, and theirs is of lack. Okay, now we're going to visit the three categories along with some other messages, but you have thought slash another card will represent the scale or the intensity, and the third card will represent the domain. Thought. This is going to be the Empress. It's quite like the thought of a lot of people is that it's unfair that you're giving your energy to some people, but it seems like later on it's giving or it's being reciprocated. Even not from them, or I feel like, you know, this energy of generosity just comes through you, goes to them, and comes back around you, even though even though you don't expect it back or you don't want it to come back. It's just like you're freely giving your love to people. With Empress in reverse, however, I want to say it's like spiritually or divinely, it's as though you're being seen as someone who's like extremely loving, and it's very sad because it seems like that is being profited, or it's like they don't deserve you. Like, that's the message I keep hearing. That you're too decent for a great majority of people and circumstances, that you're giving but people are not appreciating your true value. However, the silver lining in this is that you're going to be getting your energy back regardless of the quality of people that you might come across. You have a powerful scale, it being the Judgment. You are placed in people's lives and you're placed there for a reason. It's as though, or literally, you're a divine sent, and that you're strong, like you're a strong divine presence given to people to shift their lives. It's the shifts that occur with pile number 1, they're unexpected and they're heart related. And with Judgment being here, it's like a spiritual meaning or intensity. People are afraid to mess with your light. People hear and listen intently to what you have to say. Your words are not just like flying there and not being heard. People really stop at what you say. And the domain is spiritual. You have Priestess, the High Priestess in reverse. People see your spiritual spark and they understand who you are and that you are about and who you are about to become. It feels like you are exposed in some sort of raw state right now. It's as though, you know, you're not necessarily showing, or it's not necessarily being revealed your true essence or your true level of power right now, but people can get a good grasp of who you are. It's like this is not even like about who you are and who others are, but this is about just like expanding in love, and this is very beautiful. Another thought is going to be represented by the moon in reverse. I would expect you to go through a lot of change and transformation, by the way, especially with moon being in reverse. It's like you are ascending, you are changing, you are evolving, you are ever expanding. You are in your raw emotions right now, but even still, they reveal parts of you that are very impressive to people and that they really, really love and appreciate them. Now, the scale or the intensity is going to be Hanged Man in reverse. Trust me when I say it, but people see you as something that's very unpredictable, very strange, but very impressive and very alluring. At the same time, the Hanged Man is also about differences, it's also about temporary struggle. But with Moon in reverse, Hanged Man in here, it feels like, you know, you're ever expanding. The domain is emotional, Ace of Cups in reverse. People see you in very low states. I want to say very low, for some reason, unfortunately, very low states of emotions, but that's completely fine because it feels like you're transforming and you come back even better than you were and even more protected than it was previously. Another thought you have, it's the Magician. This is about the recognition of your power, versatility, flexibility, and resilience. In this case, it feels like this pile is powerful and that you're awakening in your power. It feels like if this is job related, if you asked about a job in here, people see you as overqualified for your job, and they understand that if they are not going to give you a raise, if they are not going to give you a prospect for change and growth, you're gone. Okay. Domain, not domain, intensity or scale, this is going to be Two of Cups. People love it when you're around, regardless of whether it be work, not work related. People just love it when you're around. They are afraid to do something that's basically going to drive you away, though it kind of happens, okay? As I said. And the domain also you have interesting because the domain is page of wands in reverse. It feels like this could also talk about attraction and people like being drawn to you like bees would be drawn to honey or something like this. I know this is kind of funny, but it is what I see. Um, Also, I will go into the unspoken appreciation and gratitude, and this is going to be also linked to the thoughts. Tower. This is a heavy card to have in this category, but it's as though, people feel bruised when they are faced with what they give to you. People are bruised and shattered when they're faced with a mirror, when they're faced with consequence for their actions. But they understand that they deserve it, and they understand that there is like a necessary course correction to be introduced, and ultimately they are grateful for the lessons. For the also Tower card, they see you as an element of change into their life, and they see and love it about you, but they understand that you're not gonna be there forever, and that they better initiate those changes before it's too late, before they lose you, or before you leave with the idea that they showed something that was not equal in exchange to the love that you showed to them. Okay, people are afraid like crazy for you to leave. Like, it's insanely like bothering to them. For the validation, and I'll get to the direction in general that you should be heading in, you have King of Pentacles. This pile will have directions in life that are very, like, let's say from the general public, controversial, or it's as though people will say like, you won't survive with this type of attitude. Don't even give a D, because I want to say your logic of things is very sound, because it's so sound it wouldn't even be brought into the reading, the fact that people love you. Like, it's so sound that you want to be with people, you want to show your true self, you want to show the greatest things to people. That kind of logic, it's not even like a must have, it's very rare. It's rare like crazy. I don't know, it's insane. Like, the validation for this pile is like the ways in which you went about doing things. People will say it's not okay, you should be doing that, this. No, it's fine. It's more than fine. It's these people who were telling you what to do, they would be better off in their life if they heard that DM. And I don't even want to like go there, but it's like they would benefit so much from your advice, but they're like with their head in the clouds. It's insane how this pile is just living there, flourishing, wanting to be on the side of the people that they love, and they want to expand in their love. And what they're handed back is just, I don't want to curse, but it feels like, I would have to edit this. But no, it's insane. Like, people have to listen, like, have the decency to listen to pile number one, because you're not charging. Like, I don't feel like you would be like charging your um I don't feel like you'd place like a price on your open-heartedness, and these people are just like not, like, I want to be honest with you, they are not deserving of it. Okay, like, for the schemes, for the profits, for the BS I have heard in here, they don't deserve it. Okay, they don't deserve it. But it feels like, there has to be like a group of people who are going to love and see people beyond their issues. I feel like you'd be qualified for that as well. But I want to say, yeah, for the BS that they do, it's like they don't deserve that love. Like, if anything, they deserve to be faced with consequences. And I feel like it's already happening, but still, the validation, you're on the right track. That love is very normal. Like, people are going to say BS in your face, and yeah, it's not gonna count. But you have to understand that your ways, they could be different, but it doesn't mean they are wrong. Even more, they are more right than you think. Especially when it comes to like wanting to understand people around you. And you're very good at it. The guidance for this pile is to listen less to the BS you hear around, because you're going to hear a lot of it. To listen to your heart still, and to understand that you are really like, you're okay. You're more than okay on your own. You're more than okay, and you're going to be okay, and that you're going to filter through so much. You're going to look back and say, it was worth it. I have found the people who I love, those who are ready, and those who those who try to dim my light. I won't even bother with revenge, because the best revenge is a well-lived life. Literally, this pile is going to talk about this. That was intense. I think that's all. I could be channeling like endlessly, to be honest with you. I could be channeling endlessly. It's very refreshing to get back to the notes sometimes, but it's insanely deep, like what I'm capable of grasping in here. But I'm very pleased with the result. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, it really helps me a lot with the algorithm. Comment below which element of the reading was the most resonant, if everything resonated or not. If you are not subscribed, make sure to do so, and if you want to donate or support my mission in here, my channel, what I do, you can check the description or the comments for the link, and make sure to check out my old videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on shining, because it feels like the world needs a lot more people like you out there. It would be a great space to have, to be and to live in here, if there would be more people like you. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're moving on to pile number 2. Those of you who chose the blue bracelet. What's interesting about this pile in comparison with the first, you could have picked pile 1, that's completely fine also, is that this pile is very defined in their circle of comfort or boundaries. I saw the balance and spirituality in here, like balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. I feel like this circle of fish, like circling around, represents some sort of like dome of like protection, or your safe zone, or your level or zone of comfort. What's interesting about this pile is the level and the amount of how people like feel, the intensity of people feeling drawn to you, though it's also kind of upsetting how like the quality of people for pile number 2 is quite also not very good, and how this pile like reasonably protects themselves and their peace against that interference or influence from the exterior. And let me get back to what I have written in here for you. Insanely balanced, spiritual, material, like the combination of the two. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a level of order and continuity into your life, and you sustain things in a very graceful, powerful, and noble way. Nobility speaks about pile number 2 a great deal. I would feel like this pile has a good level, a very good level of integrity with oneself and honesty. Sincerity, honesty, when it comes to like it's like a style of life, balanced, loving, kind, and full of life. But I feel like you're preserving that life. You're preserving that light for yourself because it feels like you should not spill it over to things, people, circumstances that would basically like profit off of it. Balanced, integrity driven, kind, inspiring and orderly. People want to be like you or learn from you or learn from your lifestyle. That's very interesting. It came through as very, like, again, defined energy or information for this pile. A lot of looking, spying, watching, inspecting, and studying you in detail. You, you got people who want to be with you because you remind them of someone, a loved one or someone they loved, and they not like, I'm not gonna lie, this pile feels like a parent to a lot of people, though it feels like you're not very willing to accept that role. I'm not saying you should, but it feels like this is a relevant information or a key detail about this pile. You are kind, you're also very like balanced in your attitude when it comes to working with people, so you're not like too giving and you're not too cold with people. That's like kind of like the temperance energy, which is very balanced, by the way. um you got people wanting to be like your kids. That's strange, but that's what came through. You being their parent, mother, father, whatever, or being like a relative or a support group person, whatever. Like, that's very weird. It's like people want your validation or want your support. They think of you as someone who's um, very harmonious and has their own flowy ideal pace of things. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering or I'm mispronouncing because I wrote in here with mistakes. I was very fast in my channeling in here because so much information really like throws me off balance sometimes, but it's okay, I guess. People watching you from afar, wondering whether they can have a seat into your life. Yeah, that's basically their thoughts. And people feel less than immature, like they feel immature or as though your seats in life are already taken. You could be guarding your energy, and that's completely reasonable given the context in here. You are like a calm, serene body of water that shelters people who come about and hang about in your space, regardless of whether these people are going to be there temporarily or not. I feel like you are really like a good host. People, I want to say, they get easily attached to you and they want to claim you or have or make you theirs. They get or feel like they won't be able to get linked or attached to you because they fall off so easily. And they choose people rather than they choose you. Now, I feel like, I do sense in here, and I'll get back to that feeling of vampirism. But it's very interesting how you easily make them like come off and detach like from them, and that is something that's like your power in here that's being showcased. Uh, they think they're just going to show up, boast their worth, but you're not impressed by that, and you have your own way of choosing people. People often fall off their own self-made pedestal when they see your traits, but it's not because you try to prove something. When they see their traits, like oh my god, when they look at you, they see some sort of quality, trait set, or lifestyle that they compare themselves to, and they kind of fall off their pedestal. Like, that was what I was trying to say here. Um, it feels also that you don't try to do that on purpose and you don't compare yourself to people. They do that instead, however. And thus I wrote in here, it's not because you try to prove something, rather the opposite. You welcome and invite everyone into your life, a very peaceful pile. You're kind of like the atmosphere, it's like a very inviting presence. People feel underqualified, but they have the bravery to try and want to match you, grow, and be like you. People see traits of yours that they want to assimilate, learn, and be inspired by, or nurture in themselves, you have powerful boundaries and you are very self-conscious and perceptive of all that comes in contact with your field. I would expect this pile to be very aware of what's happening around them, with them. Nothing goes by unnoticed. Like, that's very interesting about this pile as well. Unfortunately, in your surroundings, I do read some very foul, putrid, and petty influences. Being there because you have Sissin Mage in reverse, Ten of Swords, it's almost like you don't even see the full-fledged power of the toxicity in here, because I wrote in here, you refine and give those influences a very graceful bind, and despite those being quite insignificant, petty, and disgraceful in nature, I feel like this pile is directed with some huge, very like dirty, mature, and petty energy. Like Ten of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, these are also people interested in the short term, and like they want to just claim, take, and own something that's not theirs entirely, and it wasn't even there in like the chart, the blueprint, whatever. It wasn't even there in the thought form. Like, you know, they don't have the right to claim anything. With lovers, I want to be extremely careful and cautious to mention the following aspect, that you should be filtering powerfully your relationships, especially romance, because in here it could be that the elements of petty and disgraceful, yeah, I'm sorry it's that dramatic, but it's basically the case. It could be filtering, like that energy could be filtering itself out in the domain of romantic like partnerships. I want to say, do have in here some very like interesting matches, but they have to still grow, because you have Kujo Sara with Eight of Wands. Like, you know, maybe you should be putting a pause on the romantic stuff, or really reevaluate and focus on yourself, because really with balance and spirituality, you got some very powerful cards when it comes to your identity, and for you to try to understand like if this reading is yours or not. This is a very evolved pile. This is not the, you know, mediocre type of, like, I don't like to say this, but I do find, unfortunately, people who are prone to some sort of level of understanding or mentality that is very mediocre, and that's very parasitic, and like really from the vampirism scale. I feel like you are doing a great job when it comes to protecting your boundaries. You are a very like decent person, I feel like, with this pile as well. And I feel like you're also meant to teach a lot of people by setting an example. Though, like, don't welcome a lot of influences in your life, because it feels like not everybody is going to be deserving of that thing. You also have in here from the surroundings, people who are watching you, them learning from you and basically evolving and abandoning some sort of traits, past, or like ways in which they dealt with people. You also have some powerful figure in here with the knave. It's basically someone with authority or with power, who very much so understands who you are and respects you very much. That's very interesting as it came through. Okay, where was I? These people also, like, for the surroundings, you got some very detached, petty, nervous, and like not so good people. Okay, bargaining is very like in their nature, greedy, personal gain, um, digging something for myself type of people as well. But you also have like an honorable mention in here, and like as I said, this feels like this person I was referring to. But to be honest, also better be on guard with them. They understand, assess your strength, and respect you very much, but see you more so as an opponent rather than a friend. Your aura protects and diffuses and reduces every influence to ashes. Like, I'm referring to the bad influence. I feel like, what's interesting about this pile is I would expect some sort of drama to transpire where people would try to direct something at you. They are mid process wanting to do that, they face you and they don't have the bravery. Or they see who you are and they feel like it's not gonna pan out the way in which they wanted. And you are like protected a lot by those aspects. I don't know, it's like it feels like your aura is diminishing a lot of stuff that's being thrown at you, and that really plays well. Like, it's very I want to congratulate you on that, to be honest. um People often open their eyes and reevaluate their life, their issues, their, like, it also kind of comes off from a greedy like spectrum, because people see you thriving and they think I should be doing things like them, and when they come to the realization that they should be changing their whole like mentality and stuff, yeah, it kind of upsets them, because yeah, it's a huge change that they're not willing to make, a huge leap, but they also want to take it. So it's like they want to be like you when it comes to the advantages, but when it comes to the work, not so much. Okay, now we go to the category of the subdivisions. This is going to talk about one thought, the scale or intensity, or both, and the domain. You have the sun in the first thought. So it says in here, it's a very like fun and very nice. It's very fun and very nice to have you around, and everything comes easily when they are with you. They think that your presence is very warm, comfy, and they never felt like this before, or they've never found someone or like a person like you in their life. Domain or sphere could be emotional, by the way. It feels like you could be even having like suitors in here, people wanting to expand on a romantic note. Feelings, even romantic ones. People think and regard you as a very worthwhile person to have around, and someone you should be treating nicely, kindly, as well as to not upset you accidentally. I see also, I see in here people being infatuated, in love, and appreciating you, but there is also a huge gap or distance, or waiting for them, or waiting for you to give them back, or to confirm, or to reciprocate their feelings or their manner of interaction. That you're very abundant, secure, independent, you don't need them or anyone on that account, and that you have your own order of things, and that you don't need guidance, suggestions, advice, or anything of that regard, because you got your own rules. People feel really like annoyed. Also, I will get back to that, but maybe that's like that's the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, that was the second thought I didn't categorize. Okay, yeah, this is talking about independence, this is talking about self-sufficiency, and people, like, from the scale of the Knight of Wands, people almost feel very confrontational when it comes to that energy, almost like infuriating fire energy. So people feel really annoyed that they can't vampirize or exploit, or like very parasitic intentions in here, or make you dependent on them. It's very infuriating and also humiliating to them, because I feel like people are building their egos and they think that they're going to match that, and they like you're gonna run for them and you don't do that. They It's very infuriating, humiliating to them that you got your life going and that you don't look back to them for a reaction. You just mind your own peace and they just have to deal with it. They are annoyed, infuriated that they can't make you addicted to them. This could be also from the domain of this oh my god, from the domain of this thought. This could come from financial and emotional. You walk in life on your own terms. They think that you would rather be honest than bargain, manipulate, communicate your worth to someone. who's kind of deaf, to be honest. Like, as if it's not already apparent that you're not going to prove anything to anyone. You don't sit there and boast your value worth if people don't get it. It's their issue, it's their game over, it's not yours. And again, this is infuriating because people feel like they are playing chess with you, and instead of basically like you're already winning in that game. It's infuriating for them. You're not even willing to play the game, but for the sake of the experiment, you say, okay, let's see who's gonna win. And they see that they lose mid-game and they just leave. Or you leave because you're not interested in that. And it's infuriating because people understand that you've got the control, not them. But they thought that they got the control. So yeah, who's holding the remote? That's basically the issue in here. But it's like, you're not interested, okay? It feels like this pile just wants decency, or like a close person or a friend they can confide in. So yeah, it's very to be honest, it's very clear to me why you would rather not like be overly participative in that whole thing, because it feels very draining and very dramatic and very, again, focused on draining you emotionally, and you just don't do that. You're a very reasonable person. That's from another, like the third thought. You're a very reasonable, kind, loving, like Two of Cups, very like diplomatic and let's work things together type of person. But you won't stand injustice. I saw their injustice, like I saw their justice in reverse, and I thought it would be very important to mention that aspect into the reading, that you're all for transparency. And people think and understand that, but they are not ready to be as transparent as you are. You read them really well, and you're a worthy partner to have in life, and it would be rather hard to outsmart or play unfair with you, because you're up immediately and you're gone. You got a powerful poise and like an enviable attitude. Okay. Eight of Swords in reverse, basically it spoke about that element of being free or freeing yourself from people's influences when you feel like it's no longer working or when the person is no longer playing fair. The secret gratitude appreciation, you have Justice in reverse. Again, just like with pile number one, it felt like people have wake-up calls. People feel like they reevaluate a lot when they come in contact with you, and they think that, time to change. So in the sector of grateful and gratitude, I think that people, if they were mature enough, they would understand and say it to you, that they regret doing the stuff that they did, and that you have made them change their ways. But that doesn't quite happen. I wouldn't see that on the radar, because I don't think people have the maturity. For the validation, and here, expect people to play games a lot. For a person who doesn't like to play games, unfortunately, you will have a lot of people who will play dirty and play games and also play dirty. That's like, I do not see in here validation. I do not see in here confessions of sorts. People are not gonna open up. They will just like love it when you're around, and they will have those compliments that they will basically conceal and hide. But please do know that unexpectedly you will find things, circumstances, and people who will be guiding you towards something greater, even if these people are around. That level of safety, comfort, and circle of protection, so to speak, it's there, it's gonna be there, it's gonna be something that you're going to expand on, and this is going to be something you're really going to be proud of. And over the time, people will understand that they effed up, literally. Um, for guidance in this group, we highly encourage you to basically try and understand that the path you walk is going to be quite perilous, and when it comes to interactions with people, a lot of schemes, but eventually you're going to find like the experience that you're going to gain out of it is going to be quite worthwhile. um, I see in here also twin energy, by the way, with balance, spirituality, and practicality card. It could be that you will stumble across someone who's very similar to you, but why I say it could be, because I do not want to set expectation, or I do not want to give you some sort of a prediction, because this pile doesn't need a prediction. You'll see it when you least expect it. But I do see in here like you're not meant to be alone. The guidance as well in here is to be focused on yourself, just like you were in the past, and not like infuse yourself with drama that's happening around you, and that you are highly respected, though, even with like those negative influences that are just there. You just have to understand that these people really respect you, because they avoid to, or they try to ignore their like calls for manipulation when it comes to you, and that's something that speaks about your strength of character or strength of who you are. What's also interesting about this pile is you're very like picky, and for a very good reason, and also very wise. I would expect this pile to not like, you would see something coming from miles and you would prevent it because you've seen it in the past or something like this, or it's really relevant about this pile as being very like cutting it to the core before it even grows into something uglier. I want to say you do come off as very unique. Also, you do come off as very defined in a way, so there is no equal match to you, and you're not regular. So when I was talking about the romantic aspect or spectrum, people understand, or they have like a pre-established idea of what it means to win someone over. When it comes to you, it doesn't work this way. It's very it's such a shame to them, to be honest. And this pile is not brutal, by the way. Quite funny, by the way, because yeah, I'm literally channeling this through. This pile is not brutal when it comes to cutting people off from their life. It could be a cold decision, but you won't stand there and argue. You won't be there like trying to prove something, anything of that regard to people. You're just gonna walk away. And you have a keen eye on like, I don't want to say useful people, but compatibility. I would even advise others to ask you so that you could give them some sort of assessment or compatibility test, so that you can basically help others understand how fit they are with their partners, with their relationships in general. Relative to the spying aspect, I want to be very also, like, I would like to stress this out. You have cunning people in the background, so they study, they want to understand you to such an extent that they could exploit your weaknesses, or they would want to exploit some sort of trait of yours. So be especially careful with those people who are, let's say, not as like the same in their approach as everyone else, because I would see these people trying to find an alternative like entrance in your fortress, and that would be something that, if these people would be having like good intentions, I wouldn't even mention this, but in this case it's something they want to take and they want to go, or they want to find out something very specific in this context. Okay, people also think of you as someone who is not for everyone, not for everybody. um, they regard you as someone who's like very sweet but also guarded. And again, if you show something that's not appropriate with pile number 2, then it's going to be a long time this pile changes their mind. Okay. uh, I do see in here a lot of caution that comes through from people, and like a very chaotic energy of, yeah, that's very strange. Like, they don't understand your qualities. They come through thinking they will achieve something or they will win you over. It fails miserably, and they are kind of left to pick up the pieces. And it's very humiliating. I saw in there the infuriating aspect. You will also come across situations where it would feel like you did nothing. It would feel like, you didn't trigger on purpose anyone, but people will be like with their own issues projecting them upon you. So I'd be careful on that as well. And fiercely loyal. I forgot to mention this pile feels like a very loyal and very like, I'm ready to fight for you, but you got a very few spectrum of people like that you would be capable of giving that to, and they like, those people are rare, like, let's be honest in here as well. um and people want to claim you big time, like people want to win you like a prize. I feel like the desire for something romantic is really coming like top tier in here, but they love you to the greatest extent they can, and their greatest, the most of what they can bring is not that much. Okay. Not wanting to really talk about in such terms, but I'm talking about efficiency right now and what you're able and what you're willing to settle with. You're not a gray area type of person to have like a partner. Like you're not gonna be like, yeah, and I have pile number 2 as a partner. No, 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 no. This pile is not like this. This pile is not going to stand mediocrity. And it's quite funny because, yeah, people at first come with high expectations that you're going to welcome them. Okay, that's very strange, but still, their thoughts are very like, unfortunately, not exceeding their level of mentality, and those are very petty thoughts. But from the good side, however, is they have a lot of things to learn from you, and the good side also is like people understand really fast where they're at. When you open your mouth, when you show yourself, when you reveal yourself, they kind of like run away upset, okay, to say the least, because I don't want to like really go there. um and this pile is high expectations. Not surprising though, like, yeah, with those traits, to survive, to thrive, and to evolve, it's natural to have high expectations. But yeah, I think that's all. Pile number 2. It was a pleasure reading to you. It was like a very defined noble, like, this pile reminds me of like Greek goddesses, Greek sculptures, expensive furniture. I don't know, that's coming through, and like defined style, or like Italian furniture, not even like French, or yeah, it's like very like luxurious style or taste in people, things, whatever. Thank you so much for watching. If you did resonate, please do not forget to mention that in the comment section. Don't forget to like, as it really helps with my channel. Subscribe if you're not already, and I really hope to see you in the future readings. By the way, don't forget to donate if you want. If not, that's completely fine. You could support my vision or channel or me. In the description, you'll have the timestamps along with the donation link if you want. Again, that's up to you. I'm really grateful for all the ways in which you've shown support to me, and that's something that's really like an honor to me. Thank you so much. See you in the next readings, hopefully. Take care. Hello, pile number 3. Those of you who chose the dark necklace. This is going to be a reading. I have never in my life encountered such an explosive pile. But hear me out, this is going to be quite exciting because this is a change of energy for some reason. Okay, now back to the notes. You have the first card, which is going to represent yourself. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Aries in general for me is a very aggressive, straightforward, fiery type of energy. However, what's interesting, even from the other cards which have like elements, the fire is the most predominant theme in here that I have encountered. Of course, we do have others, and also water. So it's like it's gonna be a mix. But you have fire very strong in here, which is fascinating to me because it's a blend of something that's quite explosive, extroverted, straightforward, to the point, you know? People think that you are actively, aggressively, and assertively going for what's yours and that you will go far and that you're self-made. That's especially relevant to the first card I saw and the one I have mentioned. What I find interesting is usually I encounter a more like passive, like introverted energy in my readings. This time it's quite a different case. Um, this pile feels also like you're not gonna sit there wait. You're not gonna sit there and wait for someone or something to basically create what you want. You're like an engine type of person. People are afraid to be in your way because you're gonna sweep them with one movement, all of them all together. No, I don't know what you're doing there with people, but it's crazy energy, not gonna lie. They are thinking that you're going to take over and do a better job than all of them all together. Yeah. That you're bold, fiery, explosive in the most foundational, constructive, and productive way possible, and that you're a go-getter and you like fire, okay, and that you are fire. Okay, now that's a very interesting pick of words, but yeah, it's what I channel. Don't blame me. Aggressive, bold, straightforward energy. I'm gonna make it happen, you know. That's the type of energy. I do feel in here sort of a hesitation from people. It's as though they're afraid a bit, you know. But I wouldn't necessarily like even doubt that you should be like dimming your light or something. I just sense like this fire energy, like this is not even a fire you'd see on a stove, which would be kind of bluey. I feel like this pile has attached to it the colors of like bright yellow and especially like orange and red, of course red. And I feel like your energy is just scattered all over the place and it like enlivens everything, just like a fire would basically, I don't know, a fire would catch fire or it would spread. That's how I feel this pile is, or their energy when they come into the room. And I feel like people's thoughts are marginally like, what's that? Like, what's going on? What type of element is that? Like, who are they? Or what's happening? Because they feel very lost. I don't know. Um, yeah, explosion all over the place. And it's a kind of a directed or controlled fire in a way. It's as though this pile has struggled in the past to direct and to maneuver with that energy or with that power. Now, however, it feels like you are about to, direct that energy into something that's so like, I don't know, it feels like business oriented or project oriented, I don't know. Yeah, where was I? Um, Well, to be honest, it feels like, people get an idea of what they like, what they can do. And when you appear, it's as though you are able to do like, you're able to do their job and another two jobs additionally. Okay, and that's kind of like annoying to people, but it's the truth. So yeah. um Bold, fiery, explosive in the most foundation. Yeah, I think I read that. um I feel like you caught people in a situation where now they're afraid and they would like to predict a pattern, where it feels like, they're so desperate they would like to predict your next move, because marginally they are very like nervous, and they would like to be in charge or in control. Despite their best efforts, they kind of don't make it happen. Yeah. I find people unable to control themselves for some reason. It's like, their emotions take over when you are around. Also, I see this pile like being aware that, it's like you see, here, understand everything, and that you'll find out. Like, I'll find out. That's very interesting. That you're merciless with people getting in your way. I feel like, this is quite interesting because I feel an energy or slight mention of righteousness, or even like a passion for something that's so strong you won't even let a doubt like hit it. So it's like no interference with pile number 3. And this is not even personal, I want to say. They think that, you are trying to get them. It's not that personal, it feels like, you're very defined in a way of really knowing what you want, and you have no time. Okay, it feels like, you cannot tolerate people getting in the way of you accelerating or something like this, or it would give you a rush, a rush for more, or a rush for that passion to basically reach its peak. And you cannot stand people just like creating barriers or putting barriers on that. um that despite the gossip, they think that despite the gossip and the explosiveness, you're actually a fierce and a loyal person. And I feel like this is quite controversial, but I see you as someone who's passionately living their truth. It would come about in a way for people where they would assess this as being strange, or even alien, or even not quite normal. I do not feel, or I do not think that you're like a villain or something. I feel like more so you are in for the greatest result, and ultimately you're wanting to offer that to people. And I see this very noble like intent when it comes to, though like people don't even like see it, it doesn't register on their red radar. What's worthy of being like mentioned aside of the whole sea of information I'm reading, it's that this pile is capable of being, or is actually not even capable, but very responsible, and for multiple things. I feel like in general, people would underestimate you a lot or misjudge you a lot, but their capacity for being responsible is quite low. Whereas for pile number 3, it feels like they are hyper even responsible, and you're handling it quite well. I want to say it seems like, yeah, it's quite fascinating, to be honest. Like, the most majority would crumble upon that weight. On for you, it's like fuel for the fire. That's weird, but that's what came through. So don't be surprised. Like, yeah, basically that's my channeling. It's all over the place. Um, yeah, I feel like you are a very decent person, despite like a lot of controversial things just going there, like existing about you. That you're all about moving forward, progressing, helping others. I'm sorry, seeing through, and moving through their barriers. That you're always like looking forward for the next most or even more exciting journey, project, thing that you're going to envision and create and basically build up for yourself. I feel like out of the most energies I've read, this pile feels like they thrive on being challenged, or they thrive on being thrown a challenge or a test somehow, and you like to prove it otherwise, or you like to prove people wrong. I would see this pile being very stubborn for some reason, or it's like people think about this, but it's like you are stubborn, but eventually you make it work, and you make it work 10 or 100 more times better than initially expected. It's like people, like you have a personal way to deal with things. It's like finding your own personal way to make something work, and it works better. Non conventional, non apologetic, revolutionary, visionary, engine of the project, leader, team leader, enhancer. It's like people see that you have such a strong vision or such a strong attention to detail that you see stuff that is not there in their perception, but you enhance the whole thing because you have such a brilliant mind. I see in here like a great majority of things, ranging from envy to applause to even recognition, appreciation, and even like I want to say attraction, but it's actually physical love. So yeah, crazy because I never expected it's gonna like come off so strongly like this into the reading, especially after so much fire, but still. Now, this is funny, like what I found in here. That came with a Six of Cups. It's like I'm gonna channel it just like as I heard it. So it's like, let me chew it up for you, but only once. Next time you better do it yourself. Let me help you see the truth. Please see the truth. So that's your energy, like bold, straightforward, in your face type of energy. King or queen, boss, leader energy. I won't stand BS and I won't stand mediocrity. I'll move forward. That you're not to be fooled with, not to be messed with, and that it won't just go or slide or go unnoticed. You won't let it slide. It feels like, and you won't even wait for it to happen. You're just gonna make it happen yourself, like facing people with consequences. You're faster than karma. That you won't let it slide, Kay, and that you will hold everyone accountable for their actions, okay? That you'll get the BITCHES, all of them one by one. That there will be order, like your life depends on it, okay? Um, Also, this one was funny because I wrote in here, like, let me help you by telling it in your face. That's about file number 3. Let me help you by telling you the truth. Yeah, literally pile number 3. And um, see that you have to do it for your own good. Now let me watch you do it. I don't want to be kept waiting. Why you be so intrusive like this? Time to move forward. I'm not your mom, dad. Okay, yeah. Move. I gave you all you needed plus cherry on top. Yeah, it's like, why just wait? Just do it. Like you'd see a lot of people there stagnant waiting, and you're like, just do it, okay? Why it's so hard? And it's, you have this engine energy, like it genuinely makes me laugh. Your surroundings. Now this is interesting. This is the most explosive surroundings also, but interesting ones because the surroundings or the people in your surroundings are relatively quite nice, aside from some being a little bit like out there. Um, your surroundings can be grumpy, like people. They could be grumpy, nervous, and furious. But for you, it's like, yeah, just like unstable weather. On edge, people who wanna lash out to you but don't because you're right. That was the funniest thing I ever channeled. Then be like, yeah, they're pissed off. Yeah. But they're like so like I know they're annoying, like that's what people are saying about you. Like they're annoying, they're pissing me off. But they're so right, like it's so unfair. Like they wanna lash out, so much, like so like they keep themselves from doing it because they know you're right. And I don't say it because, whatever. I say it because I see it, okay? And this pile would understand that because you'd be like, it's a huge part of your life purpose to show that to people. It's like I don't even care about it being personal or not. I'm just gonna say it if it's right or if it's true, because who got time for that? 'Cause, yeah, it's like just the truth on a silver platter, golden platter, whatever it is. You also have a very like extroverted group of people, playful, charismatic people, but also a few who are kind of introverted. Like those are a few, but they look up to you. I see them like studying you or you giving them advice also. I don't know from like this is also channeled like people say I don't know from which orbit or planet this person fell, but let's listen to them because it feels like they are very reasonable, very reasonable, and they're actually concerned with us. So yeah, you have a lot of mentorship energy, a lot of greatly predisposed people towards really wanting to see you. So that's the sun energy. So it's basically just being like people being genuinely happy to see you. It's like you make my day type of energy, you know. People greatly liking your presence, and they're waiting for you to make their day. Yeah, that's amazing. You got a very powerful reputation. That's the first thought. Like a network or a reputation that you're a powerhouse and that you're self-made and that you are your own boss. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I don't like really saying those types of things, but yeah, I see it. I have to. Um, you got people saying like, why am I not like them? Like, why am I not like pile number three? Which always I say like, you should be yourself. Don't copy or don't like. I see people begging for some sort of guidance or really wanting to be like you, and the domain is very like social in here with the Three of Cups. This is friends. This is also envy coming from I don't know who, but whatever. These are not friends, I guess. These are random people. They look up to you, so yeah. The next thought, and I love this one, just as fire, like you have so much fire in here, like can I please borrow it to like use it for winter or something? Because yeah, it's crazy. You have Queen of Wands, and this is interesting because the Queen of Wands in reverse, this is a very scandalous person. People think that you are very difficult, but they like it. You know, I would expect people to deliberately piss you off so that you are, yeah, whatever. Like it makes them like, it turns them like in a way, you know. You have people looking up to you, that's for sure. Um, my cat joined the reading. Okay. Uh, so the short story is going to be just people misunderstanding you. The long story is going to be people are going to project all types of stuff onto you until it's going to drive you crazy and you're just going to have no choice but to sweep them away. I hope not literally, but yeah. If there would ever be such a thing or such a definition of divine anger or divinely inspired anger or divinely inspired passion, that would be about you because you had that Queen of Wands energy in the reverse, but from the intensity and the domain, or let's say from the intensity and scale, it came through as Wheel of Fortune. So it's like they feel as though you're right in your anger somehow. Like that's weird because usually, you know, in reverse cards are not quite like very okay in their energy, but in this case it's like a righteous anger or a righteous like self-directed like passionate display of purpose. Like if that would be a thing, it would definitely represent you. um the domain is very vague because it's the Two of Pentacles, so I would expect again this is like I would expect this to come through from the aspect of just people not understanding you, but understanding very clearly that you are like someone who's not going to be like stepped on their toes, and that, you know, it's like, I feel like this pile has this lion energy, or this, like, those types of people who usually they don't bother to get invested in drama, but once they do, it's like game over for everyone. So that's literally about this pile. So yeah. Another thought. Um, Another thought that came through with Two of Wands in reverse. It's interesting because your potential is unfolding differently from what people usually like predict. It's like in life, people have like a very predetermined way in which they achieve stuff, and for you, it would be more long-term oriented. And you've already got people who are regarding you as someone who will go very, very far, and that your achievements are yet to be unfolded. Anyway, the Two of Wands seemingly shows that for you, your achievements or your milestones could have been or could be right now a bit out of your reach, or that you are always dissatisfied. But from a universal standpoint, it takes more time for them to just come to fruition. And basically, like, it's interesting as people. Sorry, I was chasing the cat. um your energy is basically of someone who is being seen for their potential, but in your eyes that potential is not always actualized or not always understood, because you're always looking for what's the next thing to claim, or what's the next thing to basically like realize or make happen, make like you got the idea. Now, what's interesting, we have the Empress from the scale, or the intensity. The Empress is about nurturing, bringing something into creation. People know that you're going to go far. People just know it. People feel it. People already place their bets, like, in a way, about you. And the domain is the Queen of Swords. This could be about intellect. This could be about strategy. This could be about your strong pull, or your strong um, determination to make something happen, even though it's like and almost like the gestation period with the Empress. So it's like it's gonna take a lot of time, but people believe in you, like whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not. But yeah, uh you're like a very persistent person. I want to say, for people, they have the willpower to make something happen in like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a very short term way of thinking, or progress making, or short term projects. In your case, it's long term. People know it, people feel it, people already want to be friends with you, so that when that day comes that you are popular and you're known for your work, they could be proudly saying, I was friends with them. Okay. Okay, the next section is going to be the unspoken gratitude. A lot of people learned from you with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and you didn't charge them for that. It's like the benefits that people basically harnessed out of you being present into their life, and you could have gone, or these people could have like left your life or something. Know this: you are life changing as an example, as a direction, and you've left a mark. It's like I'm a bit sad to recognize in here that you perhaps won't have a lot of people who will give you like necessarily a thanks, or will express like necessarily the gratitude, but these people, whether they are conscious or not of the impact that you have created, the change is real. Okay, that's undeniable. The validation in here is quite beautiful, and it's wonderful because we have the Queen of Cups, a very unexpected turn of events in that domain, because we've been talking about fire so much, like aside from you having the Queen of Wands there, but still I feel like you are genuinely someone with such an expansive character that you won't necessarily receive a lot that like being seen, understood, and really like you won't have a lot of people getting you, if any will get you fully, you know. You don't need advice, by the way. What's fascinating also about this pile is the fact that you do not need a guidance thing, because of that level of like self direction or being your own boss. This reading doesn't urge me to give you anything of an advice. um, I feel like I do not need to give you an advice. I only need to give you some sort of validation, because with the Queen of Cups also you will have a lot of people saying, you know, that person is only result oriented, that person is heartless, like that person doesn't care for who I am, they just care for the results I will give. And that's not true, especially because of the Queen of Cups. I feel like you are deeply connected to people and you have a big heart. You just have a very personalized way to show that love in various forms that for people it would be too much out there. I feel like you have this expansive, straightforward, let's make it happen type of energy to yourself, and at times it can be pushy to people, but despite your greatest efforts, I feel like people still will find ways to basically disapprove or redirect that into lack of gratitude. It's literally the example of a person who's seeing potential and would like to make everything work so that this person is basically actualizing this potential. But and also I want to say this is like quite like a very deep topic for me, because you know I've had that influence multiple times into my life. But what's relevant in here to be mentioned is you're not, I do not feel like this pile would be exploiting people. The truth thing, the direct to people in their face like type of energy was for the people. Because if I were to say you are self-centered or something like this, then why would you say it to people? Why would you go like forward? Why would you go an extra mile to say those things to people or to direct them or to correct their course? It wouldn't make sense to me, because what gain would you have from that? So yeah, my answer is like with the Queen of Cups, like expect people to mistreat you, though they will do that from like wounded perspective, or expect like not necessarily mistreated, because I don't feel like you will allow it, but expect people to be kind of not very grateful for you opening their eyes, despite like me understanding how valuable this is or this can be for their future. I do not think everyone is ready for that kind of truth. So yeah, um what's interesting is the duality in here is with time to move, to make action, or to take action. It's a very violent explosive energy where you would see like that kind of energy you'd see like in leaders, CEOs, or whatever. But at the same time, birthing a new age. For me, that's a very positive card. Like it's birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. It's like at the base core of your heart, you are like engine again for progression, for progress in general. And like Six of Cups, that's the most friendly, like the friendliest card for me in the reading. And this was about like people's thoughts, so deeply, like, you know, literally the example of a doctor. Okay, it's like a surgeon who is really proficient at what they do, and they have to give like the verdict to the patient, and they say like I'm ready to work on it, so it's like let's work with it. But people would be taking it personally and saying like, you know, why would you do that to me? Why would you announce the thing? Like I lived peacefully. And you're like, yeah, you have to know it because it's for your own good, you know. It's that kind of urgency that carries pile number 3. And I do not think people will appreciate that at the core value, but it's like you understand the value and you won't stop from doing it. um yeah, that's kind of it, I guess. That was like a whole new dimension of a reading. To be honest, my cat visited me right now in the reading. I chased the cat. Oh, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that type of explosion and like virulent energy, almost electric, and yeah, fire all over the place. uh Thank you so much for watching. I hope I wasn't too quirky in the third pile, especially. Like, yeah, never mind. Please, if you enjoyed the reading, do mention in the comments that you're pile number 3, because I'm quite curious who these people are going to be. If it resonated, also subscribe to my channel if you want to support me and my journey and my mission. Check out the old videos as well, like the video, and if you want to consider donating, that's for sure an option. If not, that's completely fine. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything. Thanks in advance for all of the forms of support you are showing to my channel, and I really hope to see you in the future readings. Take care.